Hey, what's going on, everyone? Eric Rosen, Viking Rising Astrology, daily horoscope for Wednesday, August 28, 2024. Well, the moon is closing out its lunar phase. Not officially today, but it's getting close. It's moon in Cancer now. We're starting to approach that new moon in Virgo that's going to happen on September 2nd, along with Uranus stopping retrograde. And right after Pluto, it goes back into Capricorn. So this is kind of like still a take it easy type of energy. Go with the flow of things, final preparations. I do feel like a really strong energy for a ton of like showing up energy and just hitting it really hard for people in general, with Pluto coming back into Capricorn these next 3 months. And of course there'll be more reveals as that shows up, and maybe even some shifts and shocks and surprises of that Uranus going retrograde. But I think that, as to piggyback off yesterday, it's sort of just like a pacing ourselves energy. We're still just coming off this Jupiter-Saturn square that's been really restrictive for like kind of the past couple of months of things. And so again, I think it's a component of self-regulating ourselves, of because this brings up our stress, our health, with it being Virgo season, with it having Venus in Virgo. It's like we don't want to poke holes in our self-worth. We don't want to shit on the things that we're doing. We want to just like keep showing up and keep doing the activities that count, that match our self-worth, that we find are valuable, that are making us successful. This brings up the idea of like putting responsibilities and prioritization first, just like really simple basic stuff, making sure that we're not slipping either into like an old, into the past, whether that's like, old beliefs of how things are going to go, or, just because of the circumstances of things. It's like, it's a day to keep going. It's a day to just keep going and keep ourselves on track. And that, if we start to feel in any way like it's a Groundhog Day energy, or we're trying to, have some bigger, payoff, like positive things can drop in, but we've got to definitely have the faith. The grounded energy is going to be really important on days like today. I don't see a ton of activations energetically really today. I think it's just sort of, some people say, sometimes you got to thread the needle. You got to find the freedom passages in the astrology of how to get through it like unscathed and like feeling good. I feel like today the eye of the needle is much bigger. It's a much smoother transition. If we just keep it basic and humble and just take the actions and do the things that we know that we need to do, and to be fairly neutral about it, I think there'll be a lot of emotional comfort. I think the place that it would get out of alignment is if we started charging it emotionally, with we have a thought, that we start to feel a certain way, and then we start to paint or project a story onto things, the human condition, right? So today is it's allowing ourselves to do what we know we need to do in the prioritization, but also to allow ourselves to feel good, to find the flow, that there are ways to feel good about it. And I think that feel good energy is to stay curious about any place where we feel restricted or stressed out, and to see where we can make it more positive and we can flow and feel better. And that that's the medicine, that we can flip any negative stories, simply just by staying curious when things just like feel off, or we feel sort of dysregulated, stress wise. Even this astrology can bring up hormone regulation, just because of the whether it's like the collective fear, or like solar flares, which I feel like those are more down today without looking. But it's like, these are overall turbulent times, but I think this is a day where we can kind of find a ledge and rest our weary minds, and just find the opportunities that present themselves to us to simply just enjoy the human journey. I think a lot of this is preparation for just being a human. I mean, when you have a new moon in Virgo and then Uranus, that's planet that, you know, deals with ascension of evolution, and then that Virgo energy that deals with just being a human, then Pluto and Capricorn, it's sort of just like, you know, we're preparing for just this natural human journey of sort of being okay with the purity of like, okay, this is where things are, and it's not really so much about, you know, some big spiritual epiphany, you know, moment. It's more like a, oh, okay, that's what the facts are, that's what the reality is, and then showing up, and then finding our potency, finding our power to show up to those things. And I think that's really like the key area is, you know, the shift point for people of like feeling their best is going to be, do you feel potent? You know, do you feel strong? Do you, you know, because like even in the solar plexus, Virgo season brings up that stomach area. So it's like that solar plexus area. So it's like when that's like feeling off, that's asking those questions. And maybe it's like journaling to keep it practical. Like, where do I feel stressed out? What area am I having reoccurring thoughts about? You know, like what little adjustments can I make to feel better? It's like with Virgo, it's like the stress really compounds when we're in a state of like being off our center, like feeling diseased, and just like, you know, looking at all these different things and maybe looking at them through a negative lens of like, oh, I've got to do all this stuff. So it's like the prioritization, but also like the flow of like taking the moments to, again, stay curious and just like, how can I feel better? Like, I don't have to be stressed. I don't have to choose this mood. I don't have to choose this state of things. And so today is one of those days where we can, you know, just continue washing away, I think, some of the karma that's been created over the past, you know, 8 months-ish with, you know, Saturn also retrograde along with Neptune and Pisces. And so anything that feels sloshy or repetitive or patterns, a lot of it is just making those simple adjustments to go, okay, like I see where this is showing up in my subconscious as my experience that I've projected, that I've co-created. What are the little human adjustments that I can make to go in a different direction? And then and then staying in that flow and intuitive, like stays open to spirit showing the possibilities for any leftover epiphany shifts that we can still have as Uranus is slowing to a stop but still direct. So if you want to find out more about what is Pluto going to be doing to, I should say, for your sign over these next 3 months, I'm doing a special. It's at 6 if you want to catch the live on Friday this week. I'll talk about it for the collective as well as your signs. It's going to be an hour and a half long. If you cannot make the live, you can just purchase the recording, but that link will be down below. I priced it at $8. Just wanted to make it really affordable for people. I feel this is a very cumulative time. There's a culmination energy of the past 16 years of, you know, your life, of all of our lives. And this is not a time to be, you know, taken lightly. And just, you know, want to also inspire people to see that there is a spiritual way to, you know, make sure that we're doing what we need to do on just the basic challenge level of what these next 3 months presents, but also to see really threading the needle of like, where is that spiritual place of, you know, rising higher and doing our best to work with this energy and achieve some really great things during a short period of time, and, you know, just what those changes need to be. So also got the ebook out. If you want to learn more about your natal chart, that link will be down below as well. And readings, as always, are available, natal and deep dive. All right, love you all. See you tomorrow.